When you think about the most successful people in the world, you may think of your success model, or you may just think of someone that you look up to. You may sit there and wonder to yourself, what did they do that's allowed them to create this level of success? Or you could be sitting there wondering and thinking to yourself, what did they do that's allowed them to not only create this level of success, but what are they even currently doing that's allowing them to stay on top of their game, that is allowing them to stay at the top of their field or industry? And I can tell you that the most successful people in the world, the 1%, as I'll call them, that they have certain action steps that they are taking consistently that allows them to not only create success, but sustain success. And the beautiful part about these action steps that I'm going to share with you in this episode is that they are things, patterns, and habits that you can implement into your own life so that way you can go to the next level. So if you're somebody that wants to go to the next level in your life, if you are someone that wants to be successful and you're really ready to take action, this is an episode you're going to want to check out. This is the space where you are saying yes to your biggest goals in a world full of idle dreamers by empowering your identity, beliefs, and abilities. Prepare yourself, because to create the reality we want, we say no to excuses, who cares to other people's thoughts, feelings, or expectations. And we say enough to the things that are holding us back from our greatness. It's time to set the table to do the work, to become successful, fulfilled, and free. Welcome to the Dream Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Dream Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Trevón Jr., and I'm super thankful you decided to check out this episode where I'm going to be talking about doing as the 1% do. Now, before you get into the episode, if you could do me a favor, if you could like this episode, if you can comment on this episode, if anything in this episode, anything that I say really just hits you, it really stands out to you, do me a favor and just leave a comment so that way I know, I'm on the right track, because it is my purpose to truly help you. So in any way that this episode helps, please let me know. Also, subscribe to the platform. If you're listening to me on podcasts or you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And share this episode with someone, in the same way that you decided to click and listen to the 3 gems that I'm about to drop on doing as the 1% do. It could be the very thing that someone else needs to hear as well. So do me a favor, share this episode with someone. One last thing, on June 11th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., we have our Power Gravity event where we are going to be talking about the power that is within you. All right. And that's super important just because we all have a background. We all have a story. We all have different experiences. And it's important that we realize and discover the power that is within us. And at this event on June 11th from 12 p.m. to 2, you are going to not only discover the power that's within you, but you are going to learn how to use that power to your advantage. So if that's something that interests you, you can go to our website right now and register on craftyourdream.org. Once again, that's craftyourdream.org. So that way you can register for our Power Gravity event happening June 11th from 12 p.m. to 2. Now, we're going to get into this episode. We are going to be talking about doing as the 1% do. Now, this is super, super important. And I really wanted to make this a practical video because a lot of times if you ask someone, oh, well, what do I have to do to be successful? Or, you look it up on YouTube, or you look up, you may read a book on how to be successful or anything like that, right? They always kind of answer with some sort of like, well, your mentality has to be this. You have to gain this type of mentality. And that's all you hear. And it's kind of like, well, what are the actual steps? What am I actually supposed to do, right? And in this episode, I really want to make this practical. So I'm going to give you 3 very practical things that you can do as soon as you get done listening that you can basically implement in your life so that way you can be successful. All right. I've been studying the most successful people in the world and had a pleasure to speak with some. And I'm telling you that there's really no secret to success. All right. Jim Rohn used to say that success leaves clues. And it's so true. Like everyone can be successful, and everyone's definition of success looks very different. But there are some foundational pieces. There are some foundational action steps that need to be taken in order to be successful. And so I'm just going to give you 3 of them today in this episode, and I'm super excited to share them with you. So the very first thing that you need to do in order to be successful, okay, if you want to be successful, if you want to do as the 1% do, if you want to do as the most successful people in the world do, you need to develop a morning routine. All right. You need to develop a morning routine. And the reason why developing a morning routine is so important is because you need to train your brain. You need to train your brain. And the reason why in which I say it that way is because our brains are wired for the sole purpose of survival. Okay. And when you think about your dream, when you think about the life that you want to live, when you think about the lifestyle that you're trying to create for yourself, when you think about the generational freedom that you want for your life, you're going to need to do a lot more than surviving. And so with that morning routine, there's a level of discipline that goes into it when you want to establish your morning routine. There's a level of challenge that needs to be there in your morning routine in order for you to basically take on your day, because each and every day is its own day. It's going to have its own challenges. But what having a morning routine does, it trains your brain, one, to be focused on the day as an individual day, right? Because when you have a morning routine, you give yourself space to not only learn more about yourself, to not only develop yourself personally, but you're giving yourself the space to focus on the day. All right. You're not thinking about what happened yesterday. You're not worried about that. You're not worried about what needs to happen in the future, right? When you have a morning routine, you're able to center yourself on the day. All right. And that's super important, just because when you think about the decisions that you are going to have to make if you want to be successful, you're going to have to make some difficult decisions in order for you to create the life that you want. When you think about those decisions, wouldn't you rather make those decisions when you are in a place where you are centered, as opposed to making those decisions when you are worried about what you need to do, when you're worried about the next step, when you're worried about, oh, I made this mistake in the past? Like, it's better to just make those decisions from a place of confidence, or from a place of being centered, so that way you can make the right decisions, so that way you can actually move forward. And that's just one of the things that having a morning routine does for you. And, one of the things I think is great, for myself, I'm a man of God. That's no secret. I pray every morning. And that's, for me, that's one of those routines. That's one of those patterns in my life that if I don't pray every morning, the day just seems off. And there, I'm certain you may listen to me and kind of agree with me. You might relate a little bit, but that's similar to in the same way I work out pretty much every morning. I do something physical every single morning to develop myself physically, just because in my brain, I train myself that if I can challenge myself physically or have the discipline to improve my body, then at that point, when it comes to the outside stuff, when it comes to things in my life, in business or my personal life or anything like that, I'm not approaching it. It's not as challenging, just because I've already challenged myself physically to start my day. And if I can overcome that challenge physically, when it comes to the other stuff, it's a lot easier. And then those decisions that I make become easier. And that's just some of the benefits, right? And I would say one of the things that you also need to implement in your morning routine is you need something that's going to kind of shock your system. For example, I know Tony Robbins, he does this thing where every morning he wakes up, he jumps into a cold bath, basically. And for him, it trains his mind. And he's explained this, that by him having the discipline of jumping in cold water every single morning, he's training his brain so that when he trains his brain to say go, his body just goes. Like, it's just, there's no thought. He's not negotiating with himself or anything like that. When he says go, we go. And that's just a small, example of what having a morning routine can do, and how it can also lead into success in other areas of your life. Because, for him, if you train your brain, when I say go, we go. Well, think about all the other decisions that you make in different areas of your life that, you probably in your mind said go, but your body said nah. Right. And so that's just the power of a morning routine. And so you definitely want something that's kind of going to shock your system, so that way you can really just get ready for your day. Whether that's a cold shower, you don't necessarily have to do that. I know some people might, be in sunlight, lights, things of that nature, music, things like that, just to kind of really jumpstart yourself and get yourself ready for the day. But that is the first thing. That's number one. That's probably the most important, that the most successful people in the world, and 1% of the world, they have a morning routine that empowers them to take on the day from a place of peace, that empowers them to take on the day being centered. Okay. Now, the second thing that the 1% do is that they bring value and contribute by continuously improving. Okay. Now, I know that may sound abstract, so I'm gonna make it a little more concrete. When I say bring value and contribute, that is speaking to the people that are around you. Right. In terms of the past episode where I talked about building personal capital, that's where this kind of ties in, because you want to bring value and contribute to every single person that you come into contact with. The most successful people in the world are valuable to everyone they come into contact with. There's not a single relationship, there's not a single interaction that they go into that they don't think, how can I contribute? How can I contribute, whether that be financially? How can I contribute, whether that be, with just a motivating word? Just there's a level and an intention of bringing value and contributing to every single person that they come into contact with. And that's just even in business, you want to be valuable. And the way in which they are able to bring that value, right? In order to become valuable, there's two things that you need to do. To become valuable, you have to master your skills. That's one. And the second thing is you have to gain knowledge. And this is an everlasting pursuit. This is not just like I learned how to do it and that's it. I won't work on it anymore. When I say mastering your skill, when I say gaining knowledge, that is something that you have to continuously do. That's something that doesn't stay just in the lane of your 9-to-5 job. That's not something that just stays in the lane of, the type of workouts you like to do at the gym or whatever your goal or dream is. You want to make sure that you are continuously improving yourself. You are becoming the best version of yourself. And you do that through mastering your skill and gaining knowledge. So that way you can give and bring value to people and contribute to other people's lives, because that is how you're going to be operating within your purpose. You're going to be doing that while operating within your passions and everything like that. But it stems from you continuously improving. You're beating on your craft so that way you can become the best version of yourself, right? And so an example of, let's say mastering your skill, right? If let's say you're working in sales. Okay, a good example of this. If you want to master your skills when it comes to sales, you learn how to communicate, right? A skill of yours would be, I'm really good with communicating people that want the product. Let me learn how to communicate with people that maybe it takes a little more convincing. They're a little rough around the edges, as it were, right? So you learn those communication skills that allow you to communicate now to a whole different demographic, that allow you to communicate and sell whatever the product is to different people, right? That's mastering your skill. So where now you are very versatile in your ability and your skill as a salesperson, right? Now, the gaining knowledge piece, if I were to stay within the sales example, the gaining knowledge piece is really, okay, I have a knowledge of when the person I'm selling to says this, I need to respond like that. Or knowledge of, knowledge of the product that I'm selling. Really having a deep understanding of, the company that I work for, or, having a deep understanding just for people, wherever, just that knowledge of, okay, if I want to sell this type of product, I need to have this type of meeting at this place or at this time, or that's just the knowledge side of being in sales, right? And I know I'm using sales, so if you're in sales, great, I gave you a good action step. But if you're not in sales, figure out a way to kind of apply that to your situation, apply that to your life. In what way can you master your skills, right? When you think about your dream, there is a level of skill set there, and you need to make sure that you're doing what you can to master it. And then on the knowledge side, whatever your dream is going to require a level of knowledge, particularly if you want to become successful. If you want to become a part of the 1%, there is a side of knowledge there, and you want to make sure that you are continuously chasing that knowledge. You're continuously gaining that knowledge so that way you can be successful. And when you do those things, you then have the intention of bringing value wherever you go. And when you are a master at your craft, when you have knowledge in pretty much everything, and you're continuously chasing that knowledge, you then put yourself in a position to be valuable, to contribute to other people. And being valuable and contributing is, that's like one of the greatest things you can do as a human being. And it'll set you apart. It'll set you apart because, it sounds very simple, the things that I'm saying, master your skill, gaining knowledge, but it's really the simple things that a lot of people aren't willing to do. All right. And so you really want to make sure that you are bringing value and contributing in a way that it will allow you to continuously improve so that way you can become successful. All right. And now the last thing, that was number 2. So the first thing, just for a quick recap, the first thing, you want to develop a morning routine. The second thing is that you want to bring value and contribute by continuously improving. And then the third practical step is that the most successful people are always moving forward. They're always moving forward, whether they make the right decision, the wrong decision, indifferent decision, whatever, neutral decision, they're moving forward. They're always looking for the next challenge. They're not satisfied. They're not comfortable with just getting by. They're not comfortable with even a successful day, right? They're always looking for more. And when you think about that in your own life, what this looks like is, you may be in the position right now that you've been working for, right? You may have passed the test that you've been studying for. You may have gotten the promotion that you've been looking for. You may have gotten the job you're looking for. You may have reached that certain revenue level of your business or whatever it is, right? The successful people, the really successful people, they're always looking to move forward. And that's something you have to do. So make sure that you're staying dynamic and setting new goals for yourself. All right, as you're moving forward. It's similar to, if you work out a lot, like if you get comfortable with benching, let's say 135 at, with 245s on each side, and you just stay there. Well, at that point, it's like, cool, like you're not improving anymore. You're not getting stronger. The really successful person who really wants to improve physically is going to say, okay, let me see if I can go to 155. Let me see if I can go to 165, 175, so on and so forth. Like, you have to continuously challenge yourself and continuously move forward. All right. The really successful people are very comfortable being uncomfortable. All right. They're very comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is a level of dedication. There's a level of discipline there that's necessary in order for you to become a part of the 1%. And this becomes easy. The process of setting new goals and always moving forward happens when you do the first two things. When you have a morning routine that is rock solid, when you have a morning routine that is priming your brain to take on the day and conquer your day, when you are continuously in the habit of giving and contributing to other people, businesses, places, wherever you go, anyone that comes into contact with you, you're bringing value and contributing, and you're continuously improving by mastering your skill and gaining your knowledge, it becomes a lot easier for you to continuously find new goals, to continuously move forward. Even if you make a mistake, it's easy for you to move past it. You're not worried about what happened in the past because your morning routine centers you in the moment. All right. One of the greatest quotes I've heard, it's in a book. It's called Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's by Joshua Metcalf. It's a quick read, but it's a really, really good read. Great story. And one of the great quotes in that book, it says that you need to be where your feet are. And that is a very powerful thing because us as humans, like I said, we're trained, our brain is wired to just survive. We're so comfortable with thinking about what's happened in our past. We're so comfortable with worrying about the future. We're so comfortable with thinking about, what we've experienced that disqualifies us. We're so comfortable with considering first, what we don't have, that we really have to be intentional with training ourselves to think about, what we do have. We have to be confident in ourselves and training ourselves to be confident. Because, a lot of people, if you have a story like mine, I was bullied a lot. Like I had to grow my confidence. That was something I had to train. I had to put the right patterns and habits and affirmations in place so that way I could become confident. And everyone has a story. I said this earlier. Everyone has a story. Everyone has an experience. But all of us have power that is within us. All right. All of us have power that's within us. And I'm telling you that when you start doing these three things, when you establish and develop a morning routine that gets you prepared and centered on your day, you will become successful. When you decide to bring value and contribute by continuously improving yourself every single day in every single interaction, in every single space, you will be successful. When you decide to have the discipline to always move forward, when you decide that I'm going to be comfortable being uncomfortable, you will be successful. And so when you do these three things, you will be able to take your life to the next level. You will be achieving generational freedom. I'm telling you, when you do these three things. And this is a pursuit. This is not a one-time thing. This is not me saying, oh, you do it one time, right? You have a really good morning one day and just everything's going to be great. No, you need to do this consistently. You need to do this every day for the rest of your life. You need to improve on each one of these things every single day for the rest of your life. And that's just what it is. I told you before, like success is very much it costs what it costs thing. The cost is the cost. It takes what it takes. It is what it is, and that's really what success is. And when you start doing these three things, you make it a lot easier on yourself, and you really just discipline yourself, and people are really going to notice, and you'll be successful. You'll really start seeing some results in your life when you do these three things. So that's pretty much the episode. I really appreciate you guys for checking it out. Like I said, reminder, just like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything that I said that really stood out to you, let me know. Or even if there's anything that you want to hear me talk about that really would help you, please let me know. I'd love to, give my thoughts and share my experience with you on that topic. But Really appreciate you guys for checking out this episode. Once again, go to our website at craftyourdream.org to see some more information on our Power Gravity event that's happening June 11th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Really means the world to me to see you there. But like I said, it means a lot for you guys to check out this episode. But with that, I appreciate you. I believe in you. And always remember, your dream is possible as long as you are willing to work for it. I'll see you guys on the next episode.